like, and I always visualize every experience that we collect is like a little novelty snow globe, you know, and we're just going around being like one time I saw Antonio Banderas at the airport. Yes, I did, and myself, and no one else is me. And then all human interaction is, I've really noticed this coming out of the pandemic, is all human interaction is just basically taking turns showing each other our snow globes and being like, and it's just pathetically taking turns. And like, someone will be showing you their snow globe, you know, and you're trying to be a good listener. It's like a story about a party they went to 5 years ago, and you're like, yes, and you're like, and you are you as well. You're like, yes, exactly, yes. How wonderful to be yourself as well. But the whole time, your eyes are just darting to your own shelf, 100%. The whole time, you're like, yes, well, no, and yes, waiting for your moment to be like, and me as well, I have one, and my... Thank you. This is so exciting. You know what? I was thinking, well, I watch a lot of stand-up specials, and then my friend's special came out recently, and they put out the trailer, and I was like, fuck, it's so dynamic. Like, she's so physical on stage and I was like, I don't really move much. Like, and then I was like, what if, because I really want my trailer to be dynamic. So I was like, what if I just, like, I know in my head the things I want to see in my trailer, I just haven't written the jokes that go with the movements. So, but I was like, maybe I just do the movements, and then I put it in the trailer, and it's just like and that's in the trailer. How good would that be? You'd be like, I gotta watch that. I should just have like 100 trained dogs. They all come out on the stage like this, and they're all on their hind legs jumping, and then we just have it in the trailer and never in the show. Yeah, feelings. I got a lot of feelings. So, rage, embarrassment, these are some of the feelings. Another feeling that it's very dominant in my life, and I think a lot of people relate to this, is like nostalgia. I'm very nostalgic, you know what I mean? And I know that's kind of a useless emotion. Like, I'm nostalgic for pre-pandemic times when we didn't know how good we had it, and I'm very nostalgic really for pre-puberty. If I'm being honest, that's where it all went wrong. Like, yeah, and my friends are like, oh yeah, you missed the 90s. What, you know, that's so original. Like, what do you miss? How all of our parents used to have a lot of rubber bands in the house? Do you remember how everyone had rubber bands? You'd find them around drawer handles and shit. There'd be like a whole ball of them. It's like, what were they for? I have no rubber bands now. They're like, what do you miss? How all parents had one big conch shell in the bathroom? I'm like, yes, I do miss that. Yeah. And I miss the easier access to abortion and less populism, and you know what I mean? Yeah. But I think I'm someone who, I never really got over puberty because, well, for a couple of reasons. I think puberty like hit me like a ton of bricks, really. First of all, I'm like exactly the demographic where, for me, puberty coincided almost exactly with like the arrival of the internet and the popularization of the internet. I'm so lucky. I had like 1 to 13 kind of, it wasn't around, and I remember like the one computer in our classroom got the internet, and overnight, like the world just exploded. Everything changed. It was like, we all got our first email addresses. Mine was hotmail@hotmail.com. Thank you. Those were the days you could get the good email addresses, you know? But it was like overnight, the world went from being very manageable. Like everything I needed to know was in just one set of Encyclopedia Britannicas in my parents' basement. It was so relaxing. It was like a finite amount of facts. That was it. The nice thin paper, you know what I mean? It was manageable. It wasn't, and also it was like objective truth. Like no one was putting out like the devil's advocate set of encyclopedias. You know what I mean? I'm like, well. Are you sure Lima's the capital of Peru? And then overnight, it was like, And I was obsessed with it. I remember my friends at lunch being like, we're gonna go out and play at recess. Like, do you wanna come? And I'd be like, no, there's so much work to be done on the internet. Like, there's so much going on. I was like, I have to copy and paste images of Buffy the Vampire Slayer into a Word document. I then have to print that Word document. The paper will be sodden with ink. Just heavy with ink. Like, I have to cut those pictures out. It's gonna be like cutting wet toilet paper. I then have to stick those pictures onto my homework diary. Like, I'm busy. I truly feel like I've been busy ever since. I'm exhausted. And another reason that I think puberty really hit me was like, okay, so regular puberty stuff, then the internet arrives and all the stuff that brings with it. And then for me also, puberty triggered like kind of a wild like gender dysphoria and a gender thing. You know what I mean? Dead silent. No, but really, like, before puberty, I felt like I was this bounding androgynous child. I was very confident, did a lot of Ace Ventura impersonations. And then suddenly puberty hit, and it's like my body's changing, and I felt very like, and this was the 90s, too. This was the era of girl bands and boy bands, right? This was the very pop-fueled binary. And I went to an all-girls school, which I just, like, the ubiquitous question, the question you needed to know an answer to at my school was, which Spice Girl are you? And it was like, there's only 5 possible answers. You needed to know. You'd be in the like in the hall, and a group of girls would corner you and be like, which one are you? It's like, because they're organizing lip syncs and stuff. Like, they need to know. I don't, like, no judgment. They did need to know where you fit into the constellation. She's like, which one are you? And I was like, like Justin Timberlake? I don't know. Nick Carter. Yeah, and I think regardless of if you experience like gender stuff, puberty anyways, a fucking nightmare. Like, you feel like an alien, and everything that was cool about you just becomes worthless overnight. Like, okay, I had this trick. It's a noise that I can make with my hand, and I swear it was really popular. Like, people loved when I did. You killed at parties. I'm gonna do it for you now. Okay, this is, maybe some of you remember this. Okay, this is the noise. Do you remember that? Guys, I swear, it used to kill at parties. People would request it. They'd be like, do the thing, do the noise. I'd be like, okay. I did it in a school assembly once. That was too far. But, it was really cool, and then all of a sudden puberty hit. Suddenly I'm at a house party. I'm in like a cupboard with a pimply 13-year-old boy who's got to send me, and I'm like, and he's like, what the fuck? He's like, I thought you were gonna give me a hand job. I'm like, no. I said that I could do something cool with my hand. He leaves. He like leaves me alone in the cupboard. I'm there in the dark by myself, just like girl, 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 girl. Really mournful. It's hard to live at that age. It's really. I mean, don't you think that the only way to flirt when you're 13, really the only acceptable way to flirt, is to go, how big are your hands? That's. Don't you think? Do you remember that? How big are your hands? I still kind of think that's like a great move to make physical contact with someone that you like. Except I was at my all-girls school, just sort of slightly getting it wrong, being like, yeah, my hands are pretty massive. Yeah, yours are tiny, of course. Going around the playground, being like, well, you know what they say. Big hands, massive labia. But, so all that was going on, you know, and I think for everyone, at puberty, you do kind of, you develop critical thinking, and suddenly sort of the hard facts of life are hitting you. I think if you're like different in any way, like if the dominant narrative that's being told to you by everyone doesn't match what you're experiencing, you know what I mean? Like with gender, like people being like, there's two, and you're a woman, and this is what it's like, and you're like, okay, but you're experiencing something completely different, then you kind of have two options. You can either question the validity of yourself and your experience, or you can question the validity of everything else and the whole system. And once you start pulling that thread, you're fucked. It's like monogamy. You're like, can I bring two people to prom? Like, why not? I don't get why not. And I really felt, and also like for me, I started doing comedy when I was 13, and I discovered like I got really into psychedelic drugs. So that just exacerbated like the general existential wave of like, I felt like I was peeling back the wallpaper on reality, and I was just seeing this very flimsy scaffolding holding everything up, and I was just like, what is going on? Like, you suddenly realize like your parents are flawed, you know, your teachers are like lonely or something. I remember being like, I think Miss Buchanan's lonely. I feel a huge amount of pressure to laugh at her jokes, and I don't know. And yeah, I remember being really stressed by being like, why don't we as a society talk more about the fact that the movie Ants and the movie A Bug's Life came out in the same year? Surely powerful forces are at play here, and we're just not gonna address it? Like, what the... Yeah. So, yeah, I was stressed, and also I think with drugs, like, it was a way to get out of my body, right? And I was feeling very uncomfortable in my body, and it was like this trap door, and so I got heavily into drugs, and the bullet points are, I went from like psychedelics into like the really bad ones. I got kicked out of my house, I dropped out of school. Fast forward, I ended up in rehab. When I was 19, I went to a rehab day program for 9 months. A rehab day program for teens, objectively a bad idea. Like, well, in a way, right? Like, you get a group of teenagers together, all they have in common is they love doing drugs. Every day at 3 p.m. the bell goes, and you're like, off you go with your new friends. Run along, bond in the alleyways. The only way you know how. But it was very eye-opening for me. It was a big turning point, because I got into this program, and there were like 12 other kids in there, and I was suddenly like, oh fuck, like these kids have come from actually difficult lives and difficult family situations. Like, who am I to, you know, I'm like this privileged middle-class kid, like what am I rebelling against, really? But I needed to be there, and it was good. But I wanted to fit in with all these kids, and they'd been there a while. They were all really bonded, and they had nicknames for each other. I've never had a nickname, and I wanted to be in on it. And I was very excited, because after like 2 months in the program, I came in one morning, and one of the guys goes, yo, Bathwater, what's up? So I was like, Bathwater? And they all start calling me Bathwater. Then the teachers start calling, it catches on. The teachers are like, good morning, Bathwater. I'm like, what is happening? But I get kind of into it. I don't want to admit that I don't know why they're calling me Bathwater. So I'm like, yep, not much, all good in the, yeah. And then finally, I get comfortable enough with them, and we all get close, that I'm like, guys, I've been meaning to ask you for months, like, why do you call me Bathwater? And they said, oh, it's because when you arrived, we all had a conversation, and we decided that you look like the type of kid who would drink their own bathwater. It's so specific, so insulting, and creative, yes. Drink their own, I mean, look, I've drunk some bathwater in my time. Sure, haven't we all? I mean, not like with a, like with a straw, just in the... No, but like we've all drunk some, haven't we? Do you remember bath time? Remember bath time? Did you ever, in bath time, take your wet flannel, do you call it a flannel or a face cloth, or... Flannel, yeah, Canada, yeah. Did you ever take like your wet flannel and you lie it on your face and you breathe